That's pretty good.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Alpha Nerd Podcast. I'm your host Kyle, along with my cinema co-host Dan.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
I'm pretty good.
All right. So far in the news, Kevin Feige pretty much saying that superhero fatigue is not a thing. That the Marvel movies are not failing because they're progressively becoming more and more trash, and people are kind of sick of it. It's too much to digest. That they think they've produced too much too fast, which is also true. But it's just the quality has gone down in general. They have created, what would you call it, a pace for all these movies to how they go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the problem. So I told you what he said too about, he's like, he works better under pressure and he likes to be the underdog.
Well, he also compared it. He also said that if people are getting tired of comic book movies, does that mean people are going to get tired of book adaptations? And in a response I have will be, but books are varied in subject matter.
Yes.
Whereas comic books generally are superhero only lately, anyway.
Yeah,
So,
there hasn't been a whole lot of variety.
Like Walking Dead is a comic book.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of other comic movies that or shows that are not superhero based.
Yeah.
Like that's horror, but there's not a lot of most horror things are based on either stories or books or movies themselves. So, Stephen King is the most obvious example.
Yeah.
And there's only so many superheroes you can do because there are a few superhero like Marvel properties they haven't done correctly. But the last time they tried to do that, like the Inhumans, for example, they failed.
Yeah. Well, I think how they handled a lot of things lately. The Marvels, failure.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, Quantumanium, extremely failure. What other movies came out last year? My God, I can't think.
Well, it's last the internet, I guess.
I mean, there's been a lot of failures from the Marvel Studios. So it's just, and then he's putting all the eggs in the basket as far as
Well, what they should look.
Deadpool 3. He's like, that's going to be the Messiah.
Well, there's a number of things from the Netflix shows that they could be going with, but they decided to make it. They're trying to make it too fantastic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the street level stuff and the Netflix shows were working really very well.
Yeah.
But they decided to just let it go. As soon as they got the rights back, they decided to just let it sit there and do nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
Daredevil's been a cameo as a lawyer in the last Spider-Man movie.
No, not the Spider-Man movie. It was She-Hulk.
He was also in the Spider-Man movie.
Was he?
Yeah, he was like Peter's lawyer when his identity came out, and then he was like trying to make sure that I forget what the reason. I didn't watch the movie really, so I just saw the part where somebody threw a big brick through a window and he caught it, and then they go, "You're supposed to be blind," the standard Daredevil thing.
Yeah.
And he was also She-Hulk's
boyfriend.
Yeah, kind of.
Well,
the walk of shame thing, which was.
Well, they become a relationship at the end of the She-Hulk thing. The last credit scene, then when they introduce Scar, who does not look like Scar at all.
Which one's Scar again?
Hulk's son.
Son of Hulk. Okay. You didn't like. There's two A's in the name. I got confused. Yeah. Scar. Scar. I say it in my mind like a pirate. I don't know why. Because there's two A's.
Fair enough.
Plus, I've never I always forget him because I've never read any of his comic books.
Yeah. So. I mean, they're somewhat okay, but
what he kind of looks like a green Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, it's more or less what he is. Who can control Earth a little bit.
So he's like kind of a terrible version of his father and his mother mixed together.
Yes.
So he's not as powerful as the Earth Thing as his mom, but he's not as strong as his father either.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a
Kind of in there.
tweener.
Yeah. A betweener.
Because my favorite, like, son, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
well, of course, is Daken, Wolverine's
Oh yeah.
son. He's a psychopath, a sociopath. He has Wolverine stuff, but he's also like an evil genius kind of thing.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet.
But he's a villain. So there's a lot of characters like they don't use a lot anymore.
Yeah.
Like they've never gone through the Thunderbolts thing. They could bring like,
Well, that's the next two movies are Thunderbolts
well, the thing,
and Captain America, not Captain America.
because the problem with the Thunderbolts thing is you need Iron Man or somebody in the regular Avengers roster to be the opposition. Because like it's from the perspective of the Thunderbolts, who are like some of them are trying to be good guys and some of them are bad guys who just want to get off, basically.
So it's kind of like the Suicide Squad.
Kind of, but it's not the same. There's no bombs in their necks and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
it's more voluntary.
And then because that was the original one, and then there's the one with when Norman Osborn was the head of, he took over Shield and all that stuff.
Yeah, the Dark Reign.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a sweet time. That was actually
because that was the last time I really liked Marvel. Well, that in X-Men versus Avengers.
Yeah.
Which was that was like 12 years ago.
That was a period of time where they had big, long storylines for like it was major events for everything.
Yeah.
Because we had the death of Captain America, which then led into the Red Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
which then led into the Hulk, universe thing where all the Hulks were around. Then it led into the Dark Reign.
Mm-hmm.
Then X-Men versus Avengers, which was fine. Then it went into the Civil War 2 or 3, right? Around that time, another Civil War, which was stupid.
Was that before or after the whole Doctor Doom rules the universe thing? Doctor Doom rules the universe thing.
I think that's the first one he does that, where he becomes
and then
the Beyonder.
Then he somehow comes back and then goes through hell and then tries to pick up Thor's hammer and then
Doctor Doom's sweet.
Couldn't do it, and then he's like, "Oh, it's beneath me anyway," like he always does.
Yeah, I don't need it.
And then
so fair enough.
Because like like I said, there's a bunch of characters. There's the Sentry. Well, the Fantastic Four could be in it. Like the in the next cycle, I kind of agree that they should have a little break from like the continual releases all the time.
Yeah.
Because
they wanna break it back down to 2 movies a year, 2 shows a year.
Well, that's fine.
I think it needs to be a 2 and 1.
Feige, I think, is misinterpreting what is happening. It's wrong.
Yeah, he's like I told you, he believes he's the underdog now.
Well, the thing is, he had a lot of bad ideas, and he can't accept in public that he had bad ideas, because he'll lose the confidence of his bosses.
Yeah.
So he has to act like he knows what he's doing.
But losing millions upon millions of dollars is
right.
Also the same thing as not showing that you have confidence in yourself.
Well, he thinks that somehow you look at the he's obviously taken it all from the comic books, the recent ones.
Yeah.
Which have been an absolute disaster as far as numbers sales go wise. No one buys comic books, the new ones anyway.
No, because they're poorly written. They're piss poor.
They're not even basic storyline principles. Like there's a lot of characters who just, especially a lot of the female characters, the new ones, who just know how to do stuff. There's no explanation. They don't work at anything. They just know things.
Yeah.
Or can do stuff for no reason.
The power of convenience.
The most common examples are, what's her name? The Iron Man girl.
Riri Williams.
Riri Williams. There's, what's the little girl, mutant girl with the dragon?
I have no idea.
Moon Girl, I think her name is.
Oh, she's a dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Sorry, I got confused.
Yeah, Moon Girl. Yep.
There's Moon Girl, and then there's America Chavez, who can just punch holes in reality and can destroy the whole Avengers by herself for no reason. She
just has those powers.
It's just, like we discussed before when I told you. Remember I told you about Forge? Forge can make his mutant powers. He can make technology. He doesn't understand how it works. He just does it.
Yeah, he can communicate.
But everything else, he is terrible at. He would be a terrible sewage engineer. He doesn't understand math. He doesn't know nothing. He just kind of does it,
Yeah.
right? But she has no limitations. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If she was a mutant that could just, if all she could do was teleport by punching things, that's fine.
Yeah.
But she can't do anything else. But she's also super strong, can't be killed by bullets, all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's just, she's super fast, all this other stuff. I'm like, no. Either one thing or another.
Yeah.
We don't want Superman.
Yeah.
They had to like make Superman vulnerable somehow. So they made Kryptonite and him vulnerable to magic and couldn't pull 7 planets and put them in the correct order and all this other stuff he used to be able to do. Yeah. you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
puts his glasses on, no one knows who he is, you know.
For some reason. So yeah. That's what's going on.
So basically
as
what
far
they
as
what they should do is go the Fantastic Four, then they go have the first movie, and then they bring in the Sentry and he comes out of nowhere, and then they have the whole thing where he wiped everybody's memory of him.
Yeah.
You remember that story where he has this evil other half that was happened because some guy messed with his psyche and he like is so powerful that he divided it up basically.
Yeah, and then one became the darkness. Or
Right.
whatever.
And so they had to like figure a way to like wipe his mind somehow. So that's where Reed came into play because they were best friends. But then
Yeah, so he created a machine that made everyone forget about the Sentry, and everyone forgot about the Sentry. They forgot about the darkness, and without one, you couldn't have the other, which was cool.
Yeah.
That was a really cool storyline.
And then he got like ended up working for Shield, and then the Thunderbolts become the Dark Reign thing, and then because the only time I saw the Sentry, the Dark Reign thing was when the Punisher was messing around with the Sentry. He like shot a bullet. He was trying to kill Norman Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
He shot a bullet at him to get away. He like blew up a building, abandoned building, and then the Sentry went there thinking he was there, and then he threw a bunch of hydrochloric acid on him and then ran away. It was around the same time of the World War Hulk and stuff.
Yeah.
That's another storyline they failed to do.
Yeah, right.
Because it's a little too epic, I think.
Yeah. It's a little much.
So I'm not quite sure what they could do, because other than the Fantastic Four and the X-Men stuff, which they've done.
I think at best they could do right now is a reboot. But it wouldn't work out well. They just need to.
Well, she's a bad character.
Which one?
Riri Williams?
Oh yeah, no.
She's bad.
In general.
Look, I like Moon Girl. I don't mind so much. It's just that
she earned most of her stuff.
Well, she is a super genius out of nowhere, but that's true.
She wasn't like out of nowhere. She was just super good at studying, even though a middle.
Isn't she like a mutant or something?
I don't know. You have to look that up. But I figured we'd move on to the main point of the show.
Uh-huh.
We completed the Fallout TV show.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. A lot of people are. Anyway.
I know. I loved it. It was super, super good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. One of the biggest inconsistency with it is people are kind of mad about the one dude, the Ghoul, being borderline immortal.
Well, all ghouls are like that.
No, when he was like getting shot and thrown around and stuff and didn't die.
I think they're just regular bullets. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Because there really hasn't been. This is like a new thing, kind of.
Yeah, it's.
Because most ghouls aren't really. They're just regular people who happen to be immune to radiation and.
Well, not immune. They've been irradiated to the point where they're like stopped aging.
No, ghouls are immune to radiation. In Fallout.
Yeah.
They just kind of go. Their brain deteriorates if they're in it too long, so that's why they become feral.
Yeah.
So like in Fallout 3, for example, if you found like most feral ghouls were near radiation sources, because that's why they ended up living in a radiated place and they went crazy. Yeah. Their brain basically becomes mush, and they're an animal now. Whereas the other ghouls were in like a museum or whatever, and they weren't that way. Because they're away from the radiation. Technically, you're immune to it and you're still alive, but then you go in the
Yeah, you keep
you
being
lose.
exposed to it.
Well, that's why the guy in the show said he needed the drugs or whatever because he's out in the wastes where there's more radiation,
Yeah,
and he's drinking all the water and all that stuff. So that's why he's going bad.
yeah. And then he just needs. Well, and I like the concept that he kind of just need it in general to keep themselves.
I don't like that very much. I just like my theory better. Basically, you use the drugs if you have too much radiation, and eventually you'll go feral if you don't take it.
Yeah.
But if you're in a place that doesn't have a lot of radiation, then you don't really need to do it.
Yeah.
But,
So let's.
but anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna focus there. So the Fallout show with headliner Ella Purnell. She was great. Very.
Well, the thing about the Fallout, they had the tone right.
Oh, absolutely. Without.
Because it's supposed to be like when you play the game for the first time, it's always like really desolate. Well, you're usually in a vault, like the 3D ones.
Yeah.
The first two were not 3D; they were 2D, top-down, isometric, turn-based combat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of graphics to look at. But the 3D ones where you're either in a vault or you're like
a courier.
The courier got shot in the head, so it's a different thing. But
that's why I like that meme, and I'll have to post it on for this. Is the motivations of the Fallout people? I need to find my dad. I need to find my dad. I need to find my son. I need to shoot the motherfucker who shot me in the head.
Which is one reason why New Vegas is a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, no, it's so like
okay, let's go through the list. The first game was you're looking for a water chip.
Yeah, the Garden of Eden. Yeah.
No, you're looking for a water chip because your vault is Vault 13. You're losing water. So you have to go find a water chip, and then the Overseer, you do that, and then the Overseer goes, "We have to stop these these mutants from taking over the wasteland because there's been a lot more mutations than normally would happen and all this other stuff."
Yeah.
And then the second one, you're like the descendant of the first guy.
Yep, you're a descendant of the first game's protagonist. The first game's protagonist.
So you do have a vault suit in the beginning. You have to go through a initiation. So it's not really a vault thing, I guess. And then the third game, Fallout 3, is, Liam Neeson and being a baby and during character creation.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Being a baby during character creation.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember a thing where I saw a guy who's like, you can like actually be a baby the whole game.
I'm assuming it's a mod.
No. I think there's a way of
glitching
out, and you like end up like using like combat shotguns as a baby and stuff.
That's sweet.
Because it's basically the same stats except you're small, so it's harder to hit you.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I would never do it that way. But anyway.
So we have.
It might be a mod. To be fair.
So then we got Lucy Purnell as Ella Purnell as Lucy, which she was very good at especially with the transition, like the very first 3-4 episodes, the plucky girl that's just let's do it because it's right to do because we're the next step of America, yay! But then half an hour later she stabs the dude in the throat with a fucking glass.
Well, she knows how to fight.
Yeah, I know, but it was just really awesome. Like, she's super plucky, but she's a badass. And then as she gets out in the waste and sees what it's really fucking like, her kind of motivations change. Like, she becomes more realistic. But then she has, when they were trapped with Maximus, she's like, hey, want to have sex? He's like, what?
Yeah, she actually said, I don't remember that.
Yeah, remember right after they got into that other vault, they were sitting there in the beds because they were in quarantine, and then she just offered to sleep with him.
Well, she said that in the beginning. She's like, the first episode was all this. He goes, I'm done with all the cousin stuff.
Yeah,
I want to do the real thing because she was messing around, I guess.
Yeah,
they weren't specific about it.
Yeah, they weren't specific
because the door guy's her cousin who's in love with her.
Yeah.
And he ends up hooking up with the lady who got stabbed in the eye with a fork.
Yeah, and who was also pregnant.
She was hardcore.
And on top of it, she's from the other vault that's all
she's one of the ice cryogenic people.
Yeah.
And then you find out that anyway, as far as the tone goes, it goes from the nuclear fallout thing, and then a super tragic thing happens in the beginning, and it's like yay, I'm about to become a bride and all this other like happy stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's more tragedy.
Yeah, right.
It's like a cross between, it goes tragedy, happy stuff, tragedy, happy
up,
stuff.
down, up, down, up, down. Which that's kind of how the Fallout games are. Up, down, up, down, up, down.
And then there's the third episode where he, like, the ghoul throws her into the lake with the gulper, trying to get the thing back, the head back, because it ate it. And then, and then he's like, she's like messing with him. I forget exactly what she says, but he goes, enough of this. He goes, every time there's always a bunch of side BS.
Yeah,
every time. Because that's what I do. I never do the main quest anymore.
Yeah, no.
So
yeah. So talking about the ghoul, Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, yeah. Apparently he's been in a lot. Well, the only thing I've ever seen him really in was The Shield. I don't know if you've ever seen that before.
I've never seen him in The Shield.
It was an old cop show.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the, special squad.
Okay, I don't remember seeing there.
Who was corrupt as hell.
When I first saw him announced as the ghoul, I was disappointed. At first, because when I first saw him as actor, I don't like him actor. Everything he plays is usually a country western person.
Well, that's what the ghoul is.
No, I'm saying when they first announced him before they really showed what he's gonna be about.
Because apparently he was like Sons of Anarchy as some transgender character of some kind.
I don't know.
That's what I saw. Well, let me look that up.
Yeah, But let me point out, like, because I saw him in a lot of Quentin Tarantino things, like.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff other than
Ridiculous or whatever 11. You know, where they're all in the cabin.
The Ridiculous 11.
Whatever it is.
The Hateful Eight.
That's it. The Hateful Eight. There you
go. The Ridiculous 11. That should be your like homage fan film for Quentin Tarantino, except it's a satire and a farce. You're gonna pretend like you really like Quentin Tarantino, but you don't like Quentin Tarantino.
No, I gotta do it the opposite. So everything's gotta be super serious and a very low level.
That's what I'm saying.
Just everything on a normal plane, where everything he does goes extreme. Everything I do will be underwhelming. So they'll be like, "You want to have a shootout? Yeah, no, let's just talk this out and have coffee." And they'll sit there.
And who else is in there? Let's look at
in Fallout.
There's what's his stupid name?
Aaron Clifton, who played Maximus.
They always have Roman name. That's not true. Not everybody. The Brotherhood doesn't have all of them.
No, Dance from 4, not even close.
Well, okay, I guess it's random. I guess.
Yeah.
Because they have family versions, like in 3, it's like Lions or whatever, which is a French name, but
yeah.
Anyway, so who's the father? I forget the father's name.
The
father of Lucy.
Okay, I have this right.
I know I've seen him he was in Twin Peaks back in the day.
Kyle
MacLachlan.
Yep, MacLachlan.
Yep, he was in Blue Velvet in the 80s. Yeah, the only thing I've ever seen him is Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks.
Yep.
When he was a really young guy.
So
speaking of young guy, like they had some good CGI in that one.
Oh yeah.
When they had him as a young guy trying to get gosh, what's the ghoul's real name? I always forget these things.
Cooper Howard.
Cooper Howard, yeah, he tried to get his autograph after he heard his wife talking about destroying the world for profit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like the storyline was very good. It had a near the end twist which was perfect. Well, a couple twists that were really good.
The end was amazing.
Yeah,
because like you said, it has tragedy and other stuff going on.
Yeah, it has a nice blend of things.
Because you find out her father was a bastard.
Yeah, he's a dick.
And then Brotherhood attacks the NCR outpost where they're at. But it's kind of like a rogue NCR outfit, kind of, I guess. Because we don't know the status of the NCR. The New California Republic is the If anybody doesn't know what
Well,
it is, it's the part with they have a flag with it's basically the California flag, but with the bear has two heads.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the timeline of this is supposed to take place
like
way after
it's like
all 4 of the games. Like
it's like only like a decade maybe. It's 2296 or 91. I forget when it is.
yeah, that's 20 some years after Fallout 4. Fallout 4 played.
Well, no, let's look this up, Kyle.
You look it up. I'm right and you're wrong. So eat a dick. So yeah, I was very very impressed. And
plus they added jump jets to power armor,
yes.
which is amazing.
Oh, you can have jump jets in 4. Yeah, that was like one of the original things.
Oh, that must have been a 4 thing, because I haven't really seen a lot of 4,
Yeah.
I guess. No, it's 2296. It's 9 years after Fallout 4.
Okay, that's still.
Fallout New Vegas is set in 2281.
Yeah, so that's still 20 years after New Vegas. So eat a dick.
It's 15 years, not 20 years. You know how to add?
No, I don't. So in your fucking face.
I was waiting for you to say the addings for nerds. You know, what was this podcast called?
Right.
Anyway.
I like some of the memes that have been going around. Like the one is the dad from The Simpsons slapping his son back in the head, and he goes, "See, that's how you make a TV show based on a video game." Because Halo was not good.
It was okay.
Okay.
But apparently, I don't really know the lore, so I guess that's why I liked it a little better than most people. Because a lot of the people, Reddit threads, how they go, but
oh yeah,
but apparently it's not really good at using the canon at all, I guess. So
yeah,
I thought it was all right.
I think this used the canon perfectly, and they had a nice variety of characters that did a bunch of stuff. Like
I like the casting was good because they had Michael Rappaport as the Titus, the dickhead Brotherhood of Steel guy,
who died. Yeah,
because but then again, Maximus should have shot the Yao Guai way sooner. He was messing around. He was like, I guess nervous.
He let him die on purpose because he was mad because the knight was just being a dick. And
I understand
and he
that.
was disillusioned with them.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, when he was struggling, the Yao Guai was trying to eat him. He was like, shoot him! And he's like, I'm like, I thought they had firearms training.
No, he did. Like I said, it was more he just kind of right after.
So your interpretation is he let him get almost eaten by the Yao Guai.
Oh yeah, he absolutely let him. He absolutely let him get fucked up.
So Maximus, there might be a character turn for Maximus at some point in the future.
There already is.
So I'm talking about as far as like him and Lucy. Like she's the idealistic one. She's still going that way. Whereas he, like, at that point with Titus, you can find out he's ruthless when he wants something.
Yeah, I mean,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
whereas she's not like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's done some wild shit.
But it's not. She cut off that guy's head because he asked her to do it.
Yeah, she was very accepting to do it. She's like, okay, yeah.
She wasn't that accepting.
She wasn't like excited about it.
But she was like breathe hard. Okie dokie, let's do this, I guess.
So I just
the only thing that she did was like semi bad, I guess, was let all the ghouls out of the.
Yeah, but that
because she didn't know about the feral thing really.
Yeah, so it was still in her.
Yeah, because the ghoul, Walton Cooper Howard, whatever you want to call him, he shot the one guy in the head before he became full feral.
Yeah.
And then he made her
cut up his back for jerky, which is awesome.
And so, yeah, so that feral part was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because she was almost eviscerated by Mr. Handy.
See, I don't think there was do you think there was any episodes that you felt was like a down slope in the show?
The first one's the first one's obviously is a setup episode.
Yeah.
For the world and everything.
I think one of the ones I felt was a downslope was where they went to that other vault.
Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit of a downslope.
Well, because it was mostly about they're trying to slow. because it would have been different if they had 10 episodes. Like if they had only had 8, so that whole episode
Was it 8 or 9?
was 8.
Okay.
So they had 8 episodes. So that episode was like they could have added more things to do in the vault instead of because it was supposed to be a mystery semi, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why it seems slow, I guess, for me too, because you could tell there's something weird going on because they're like quarantined, and then the overseer has one eye.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of people with, like double noses, or the one lady's eyes glow.
Yeah.
The one guy had claws for
Didn't
hands.
one guy have a nose on the side of his head?
Yeah, he had an extra nose. The one guy had claws for hands.
So that's obvious.
And then you find out it was a vault full of
Science.
people that are hyper evolved from all the creatures that they were messing with that they eventually.
Was that the episode when they had the
scientist
yes! from the commercial that Cooper Howard was in?
Yes.
And then his whole family was there?
Yeah.
And then he had a thing where he goes, well, this would be illogical to say this is probably my last diary entry. Not to say that a vault that's entirely controlled by scientists couldn't work, but and then
he's like,
I think it's the vault where they found they created
I don't think it's
or
entirely a mistake that giving scientists unlimited control with no
oversight.
With no oversight is a bad thing. But and then he gets mauled by the salamander thing. It was funny.
Is that the vault where they think they developed gulpers? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe because the one chick gives birth to a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, she saw that video. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was disturbing. And then they were setting it up like they were gonna kill her, and they're like, "You are sentenced to death by banishment." And then
she's like, "I already been out there, whatever."
She's like, "What?" He goes, "Yep." And here's a gun with plenty of ammo and some food and some Nuka-Cola and this.
So it's kind of like the beginning of the game again, sort of,
where they just hand you a bunch of stuff before you go out there. Yeah. And it made me laugh because then all of a sudden Maximus finds his power armor and steals that core for it.
And he was going to destroy everything.
Yeah, he comes flying in, beating the crap out of everybody. He punched that dude and he flew into the street lamp really hard. And he's like, "Let her go." They're like, "We are." Oh, you might want to check that guy. And he's all crumbled on the floor, half dead.
Oh yeah, you find out. Oh, that's a different one. Is that the same one where there's a cult?
Yeah.
So they added up that vault. There's a lot of stuff going on in that vault.
That was a lot going on.
It had experiments. It had ex-NCR people who were like worshiping the NCR again and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like
worshiping up the Raider lady as the leader. Yeah, it was a very quick and very sporadic episode.
Yeah.
So
that's the weakest one. It's not bad. It's just
episode 7 was the weakest.
It wasn't bad by any means.
It just was the weakest of all the episodes.
Because they were trying to
Now, one of the other things that I really didn't like is her little brother, and that's nothing wrong with the actor.
That was the whole point.
It was the CGI of him being like a pseudo midget guy where he's all super skinny and shit.
He has a small frame, Kyle.
That was a little extra small frame. That was
number one, he's supposed to be kind of unlikable, I think. That was what they were going for.
I mean, he was likable as a person. It's just Lucy's brother was just weird looking.
That's what I'm saying. He's supposed to be kind of small and midget, not midgety, midget, I guess. He's he's supposed to be the small, scrawny guy who's always lurking in the background and being kind of sneaky.
Yeah.
Right? But then you find out later that he's sneaky because he doesn't trust people, and then you find out he has reason not to trust people.
Yeah.
And then him and the big guy go to the other vault and find out that it's been abandoned for a long time and all this other stuff. And then later on, after the one lady who he finds out at the end was in the cryo sleep thing, got elected the vault overseer with 97% somehow.
Because
most of them are from there.
No. The way it works was from moment one when those vaults started up. There's every so often there's an issue with one of them, right? Like it's set up to be this perfectly. There's supposed to be some kind of like problem, right?
Not
And
all of them. There were a few placebo, like most of the games, like for example.
No, I'm talking about these three, the three that were connected.
Oh, okay.
The way it works is one of them would run into a problem, and then they would get one of the ones from the vault where everyone was cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, I understand.
Over there to fix it, and then all the generations were indoctrinated. That's why they had all those sayings. If there's if you ever see a problem, vote this 81 or some shit like that, or vote 33 or whatever. 31.
It was 32, 33, and 32, and
31. 31's the.
Which one's that?
That's the one with all the cryogenic people. Because 32.
Oh yeah. And then there's 4, which was the one with the.
Yeah, if you want something done, vote 31. And there was all kinds of induction paperwork and stuff to make everyone, always try to vote for someone from 31.
But she's like the most incompetent one, though. The other guy was better than her.
No, those two guys were.
They're all schmucks, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair. But she was just playing along with the doofiness, but she's really.
Look, to be honest, the one who should have done it was the blonde lady with the freaking fork in her eye.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
Yeah,
I don't care if she's a little bit devious. I don't care.
Yeah.
She was like going berserk with being pregnant and like blowing Raiders' heads off and stuff. I'm like, I don't care.
She took a fork to the eye too, and
someone smashed her eye into a fork.
And she's still fighting.
That was great. And then she like got the schmuck to take over for the baby and stuff.
Yeah, and then on top of it, not only that,
and then she was like really attached to her husband, and they made him wear his own clothes.
Weird stuff like that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Because it kind of plays on the whole, like some of the '90s shows that are set in the '50s always had like this thing where the '50s always had like repressed feelings all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I know my grandparents didn't ever have repressed anything. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But
that's a whole nother bag of cats.
Yeah. So anyway, so the weakest one's 7. 8, the ending's good.
Yep.
It's you have to look at basically watch it yourself to figure out what you think of it.
Yeah.
But it's good enough that
it's a great enough show that anyone who doesn't know the Fallout universe will like it, and anyone who does know the Fallout universe will love it. And here's the thing. After that show, sales for the games went off the fucking charts.
Right.
Everyone's playing Fallout 4, Vegas, and 3. Shit, people are playing 76.
They should. Well, because the thing is that the show is a lot more like the 3D ones, obviously.
Yes.
Because 1 and 2 are more like what people in the 80s or 90s thought the post-apocalypse would be like.
Yeah.
More desolate, not nearly as much stuff, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different vibe.
Yeah. But it's just, I was thoroughly impressed. And then, like I said, even 76 is making a goddamn comeback.
Well, they made it a lot better from what I heard.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, for a game to be that far back and no one touching it, and all of a sudden, because of a single show, it's making a recurrence. And the funny part is, and this is going to be talked about next to the game part, there was a bunch of games that came out that are doing less numbers than what Fallout 76 are doing, and they're because people. Well, there's a bunch of reasons, but one of them is some of them are just like really woke garbage games.
Well, the reason why Fallout's getting better sales is because people who never played Fallout or played Fallout.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it's one of those things where if you have a new game coming out and this thing came out and people are buying that game instead of your game, you just have to wait a couple months
and then do something.
And then push the advertising more to get your sales back up. Because that's the problem.
One of the things we definitely came across is Bethesda
Hmm.
instead of bringing out another Fallout game, because they juggled back and wanted to do another Skyrim or
It was Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
Now, and Starfield. They chose to do Starfield and then an Elder Scrolls game, right? That was their timeline.
Yeah.
They knew about the show
Yeah.
a little bit before they were even remotely done with Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
They were, talking about doing another Fallout game instead.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you they're kicking themselves in the ass right now
Yeah.
for not doing another Fallout game. Even if it was and here's the thing, if they would have set up a Fallout for this Christmas, like this fall, right after the show, it would have fucking blown up.
Well, the problem with Bethesda is they have no imagination. Like, they don't have to do a 3D fully graphical thing every time.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Vault Dweller did well in the apps on Android.
Yeah.
So, or whatever it's on. What they could do is just do like a 2D kind of thing with like old assets and stuff,
Mhm.
and just call it Fallout whatever in a different part of the country, like in the United States somewhere,
Yeah.
and have a totally different story, and make it easy and only take 6 months to develop the thing, and they probably could sell quite a bit of that too. But they want to go for the big stuff. I get it, but
Yeah.
at least something to tide somebody over until the next thing comes out or whatever.
So yeah, I guarantee.
So
they're kicking
they
themselves.
actually are working on Elder Scrolls right now.
Yes, that's the next big thing from them is Elder Scrolls.
Hmm.
Is another Elder Scrolls, then possibly another Fallout.
Hmm.
There's not gonna be another Starfield. I think they're done with that now.
It didn't work well.
Oh, it failed miserably.
I don't really. There's so many games out, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. I can't keep a track of everything.
Well, there's so many games, and then there's too many games. The problem is, number one, Starfield was a combination of Elder Scrolls and Fallout with none of the life that Fallout has.
So it's just basically all the elements without any story, really? Or
Yeah.
is it supposed to be is it multiplayer only?
No, it's regular old Fallout. It's Fallout
In space.
Yeah, it's Fallout in space without the chems and all the stuff that make Fallout special, but without the nice epic storyline that made Skyrim good.
Right. Or Oblivion or whatever you want to call
Yeah. Like none of the story setting to make those good. Then on top of it, they already had Outer Worlds, which was way better.
it. Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. Is it Outer Worlds?
Yeah, the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
There's a second one coming out.
Yeah, because
Pretty soon.
that's just Fallout in space, and that one's way better. Because that's crazier, because it's all giant corporation trying to keep all these settlements throughout space all together with all their crazy bullshit.
So it's kind of like Alien.
No, it's
Not quite like Alien.
no like
Oh, that's only one corporation, right?
yeah,
Generally speaking.
Yutani,
Yeah. Never mind, I'm confused.
Wayland Yutani.
I'm thinking of Mutant Chronicles.
Yeah. So
It's
I mean,
similar to that, I
there's a
guess.
corporation there too. It's just like there's Vault-Tec. There's this corporation that does all this wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine. It's fine.
So
I'm impressed with Fallout. You're impressed with Fallout. There's going to be a season 2. They guaranteed there's going to be a season 2.
because there's a lot, they did a good job.
Yep.
They give you a good background for what the world's like.
Mm-hmm. And then they teased a bunch of favorite locations for season 2.
And my favorite Fallout game is going to be next season.
Yep, New Vegas.
So we don't know what happened with that, because in that game there's a lot of different endings you could possibly do.
There is one that's technically canon.
Hmm.
I think it's I think that the one that is canon is when you set everyone free.
Independent one.
Yeah, the independent one where you set everyone free from like the robots kind of
Yeah.
do their thing. Like you take control of them and just kind of help everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's
that's one of my questions. It's because like they're like Shady Sands gets glassed, right, or destroyed or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why Maximus is in the Brotherhood. But what happened to the NCR, because there's a lot more NCR than just Shady Sands,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they're kind of spread out a little bit.
There was all of LA.
Shady Sands was their like base, their main place.
Because Shady Sands geographically in the game world is like into the desert, more east of LA,
Yeah.
north and east a little bit, and LA is like way far down.
Yeah.
So she went pretty far in the show.
Yeah, she went from one side of the United States to the other.
No, one part outside California.
No, she remember they were in Philadelphia.
No, that's not Philadelphia. It's Philly. You can't walk. Philly refers to a landfill. Is the running theme.
No, like it was like I looked.
It wasn't Philadelphia. There's no freaking way.
Yes, I'm
No,
telling you.
no, I don't believe you.
You can not believe me all you want, but you're still gonna be fucking wrong. Let's check it out.
I'm doing it.
Are you though? Are you though?
Yep. The city, built from junk, is located near Santa Monica. Shady Sands, capital of New California Republic, now a large crater underground. This. Okay, so basically, they've changed the location of Shady Sands a couple times.
Yeah.
So the series, I guess it's Shady Sands closer to L.A. now, but it's basically where the bombs originally dropped in the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Shady Sands kind of is, I guess.
But I'm still saying you're wrong. They're in Philadelphia. Shh.
Why? How could she walk across the United States without that being a major part of the story?
Very carefully.
Underutilized teleportation technology.
Yep. So now you're getting
it. It's logically not. It can't happen, dude.
So yeah, we both agree. It's what? What'd you say out of 10?
8.5, 9.
Yeah, I'm on.
I can't do perfect because nothing's perfect.
Yeah, nothing's ever perfect.
So
very few things are perfect.
Because I guess I could give it. I don't know if I can give it a 10.
I'll give it a 9.
9, yeah, that's about right.
I'm the optimistic one.
Because to me, I like all of the Fallout stuff. I don't care. I like the old original ones, and I like the new stuff too. I don't really like Fallout 4, but
I like Fallout 4.
But my reasons why, right? I don't like it.
Yeah.
Mostly storyline based stuff.
Oh, the storyline's not that bad.
Except you have to choose a faction. You can't do it alone.
I mean, you can. I think there is a way to do it alone, but you gotta kind of pseudo align with some factions.
Right.
I'll have to double check.
Too bad there's not a storyline where you can join the Brotherhood, infiltrate them from the inside, blow up all their stuff, have their giant blimp thing run into their base or something.
I think there is something like that, but I can't remember how it goes.
I know there's probably some speech checks involved.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I usually play I'm good at.
Super charismatic guys with a whole gang of followers.
That's what I play in 4. I have a very distinct different play style for each game. 3, I always max out guns and max out the Lincoln repeater. So I can just dominate with that.
Wear the hat and the beard.
Yep. New Vegas, I always play a max luck guy every time.
Yeah.
And then get Misfortune and Mysterious Stranger.
That's cheesy as hell.
It's so fun though.
It is funny though, but I'm just... Because I just saw a build for the first Fallout where you take collect 10 and you have gambling 80 for free, basically 80%. It's a percentage thing, and then you just run around the board and there's a gun called the Alien Blaster. You remember the Alien Blaster from 3? It's way overpowered in Fallout 1. It will obliterate anything in 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah.
So you just run around the board, get a random encounter, get the Alien Blaster, kill everyone, and just gamble. And you win every time. This dude's slots.
Yeah.
And you just get all the caps in the world and just run around and be dumb.
Yeah.
Because you have intelligence 1, charisma 1, strength 2. You're just an idiot running around being lucky.
Yeah. So and then usually with 4, I play charismatic and intelligent characters.
Because it's a shooter, you want to do the opposite of what's expected. Kind of.
No, it just, for me, it made sense because with the charismatic, you get to talk to people. There's a lot of talking people in the shit in this one. And then there's a lot of science shit, so you need high intelligence to do a lot of things to make it easier.
Well, plus energy weapons are really good.
Yeah, and there's an abundance of ammo for them.
Yeah.
So that's how I usually play them.
So.
Yeah. So
Fallout is amazing.
Yep.
Bethesda still could mess it up.
Absolutely.
They've been known.
If they release another 76, it'll be.
They haven't messed it up nearly as bad as some other companies have, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Here's the hoping.
Yep. Have a good night.
Yep. Good night. Thanks.